think you can tell me what to do? Know who you're talking to? Well, you better get used to the way the ball bounces. I see what you got, inventions and ounces. But that's a break, boy. Yeah, that's a break, little man.
Let's fucking go, baby. Welcome back to this episode of Cope's Corner. I am your host, as always, Mike Copenaver, aka Real Mike. You can find me on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all at Cope's Corner, KOPESKORNER. Stoked to have the Periscope legend, the MMA guy, Mr. B, my man, here with you. How you doing, my man, Mr. B?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How you doing?
I'm stoked to be here, and as you can see, we got the green light in the back. So that you know what that means. We cashed motherfucking bets last week, but ain't nothing new when me and Mr. B come through. So I hope you guys all liked last weekend's UFC, which was UFC Vegas 39. Like I said, for the show, we only had one bet, and we ended up cashing that. I will jump into a review of that in 1 second. But firstly and foremost, I'm going to thank my sponsors. The first sponsor that I'd like to shout out is Melon Brand Hats. It's MELIN. It's a luxury line of hats that my boy Brian McDonald's, one of the co-founders, he thought it up in high school. He talked about how we'd have the sickest line of hats. They're unlike anything you've ever seen. Some are waterproof. Some have suede underneath the bill. Every single thing on them is just absolutely unique. So make sure you go and get yourself something to separate yourself from the pack. And secondly, I'd like to thank Fokai Stuff, FOKAI Stuff.com, Guamalian Gear. My boy Rome over there, I've been supporting ever since, which is their motto. They make some really dope gear. They make shirts, beanies, hats, baby blankets, backpacks, socks that I sport, doormat, man, for your house, real made by all Guamilians, and just supports 100% of the Guamilian families over there. So make sure to go give my boys from Guam some love. And thirdly, I'd like to thank Spliff Seeds Amsterdam, SPLIFF Seeds. It's a line of MJ Genetics. It's over in Amsterdam, like I said, in Europe. The picture here featured is of Lemon Cream Kush Female, is of the actual picture of the plant that I grew. It is on the cover of a book named of a grower in the UK named Sean Prana, Prana. So shout out to Sean Prana and also Split Seeds for supporting your boys MJ. So then I'd like to thank Ted Hicks from Late Night Parents, who's here on Haps TV as well. I'd like to thank my boy Kick Your Bass on Twitter and here on Haps, professional fisherman extraordinaire. Then my boy Justin L from Vancouver, another sponsor. And then Stuart's son from San Diego, one of the newest sponsors to join the crew and be cashing bets, baby. So appreciate each and every one of you. And I really can't thank you enough for always supporting me and Mr. B as we come here and rip through these MMA events. But like I said, when Mr. B's here, it just seems to be cashing. And I just got to keep asking Mr. B to come back every single week because we just keep going. It just doesn't stop. It can't stop, won't stop. And it didn't stop here, huh, Mr. B?
Nope, not at all, man.
So
it's good to be on, though. Yeah.
So UFC Vegas 39, which featured Dern versus Rodriguez. I'm not going to go through all of it, but a couple. We'll just go through quick pointers. Steve Garcia took out Charlie Ontiveros KO TKO ground and pound in round 2, but that's without Charlie Ontiveros being a big underdog and wobbling Steve Garcia a few times in the first round, kicked him upside his head. Almost gave everyone a chance on that underdog money, but Charlie couldn't do it, huh, Mr. B?
Nah, man. The takedowns, man. That takedowns and ground and pound was just too much, man.
Yeah, and
then really thought Ontiveros was gonna do it though.
Yeah, I thought so. He was going to come through in round 1, but he cheeseballed. But that's what you get when you have soft fighters. The next fight, the card, Lupita Godinez just dominated first round submission via armbar versus Silviana Gomez Juarez. Looked slick. Damon Jackson took out Charles Rosa in a unanimous decision. That's probably one of the only ones that I was surprised on. If you go back to the show last week with me and Mr. B, we pretty much called every single one of these. We called Lupita. We had slightly favored Rosa, but no real pick there. And then we had Alexander Romanov was next up. He beat Jared Vanderera round 2, ground and pound KO TKO. Smashed him. King Kong doing what he does best. Then we had Chris Gutierrez. My boy took on Felipe Colares. He was our bet for the show. Cashed that bet. Chris Gutierrez with a split decision. Won all 3 rounds, but my boy Chris just had great defense. I would have liked a little bit more volume, But in either way, he won the fight. Cashed that bet for the show. Another $100 added to the bankroll, plus 1 unit. So let's fucking go for our only bet of the show, huh, Mr. B?
Yeah, man. He showed up. He put out there. We won it big
He,
time.
he certainly did, man. And so kept the streak going for me and Mr. B. And just keep on just rolling through. I want to shout out the 53 of you here live with me and Mr. B as we rip through last week's mixed martial arts UFC Vegas 39. And then we had, so that was, and then Chris Gutierrez beat Felipe Clares. Maria Agapova just did dirty work on your girl Sabina Mazo. And I told y'all that Sabina Mazo Gumby. I told y'all she wasn't about that life. I told you she was. I told you she was pale skin. I told you she was gonna get cut, and she got cut, and she had pale skin, and she got choked out by Maria Agapova, rear naked choke. Shout out to my boy Clint at the Die Hard Podcast MMA, cashing that plus 1,800 on the sub. Now my boy did big work last week. Oh man, we
Yeah,
killed
that
this
was
card.
nice.
Oh man, it was really nice. So we killed this card together. If you didn't know, I was on Die Hard MMA podcast last week. I had the absolute honor of being on there, and we just killed it together. So I'm stoked that Clint had me on there. The next up, Mateus Nikolai just dominated Tim Elliott and did exactly what I thought he would do. I wish I would have bet him. I wanted to. I don't even know. It's James Krause I like too much. I think it is. Tim Elliott just showboats too much, doesn't do what he needs to do, and Mateus Nikolai looked really well. Randy Rude Boy Brown took on Jared Gooden, and my boy Randy Rude Boy Brown is just, dude, he's just growing up before our eyes. He's looking really good, man, and he took on a tough dude, Jared Gooden, who did not stop coming forward and just was game the whole time. But I'm a fan of Jared Gooden as a person, so I didn't like seeing him get beat up by Randy Brown. And then lastly, Marina Rodriguez took on Mackenzie Dern in the main event. It went all 5 rounds, unanimous decision, Marina Rodriguez. But I mean, I felt like she dominated pretty much the whole fight. But there was one point when Mackenzie Dern gave us a little bit of a scare. Other than that, Marina Rodriguez looked absolutely dominant there. What'd you have to say about that main event, Mr. B?
Yeah, pretty good. She did fairly. Yeah, she did pretty well, man. Dominant on the striking. Was able to escape and get out of those sticky situations on the ground. Um, yeah, those two moments were pretty bad there. But she managed. She managed to survive through and finish up the fight strong.
Yeah, she sure
Pretty
did.
much solid domination. Yeah.
And so then so with that said, that was UFC Vegas 39. Cash one bet for the Copes Corner, plus 1 unit, plus $100 added to the bankroll. So let's go, baby. And with this week, we have a couple options of mixed martial arts. We have Bellator 268 and Nenkov versus Angelicus. And then we have obviously UFC Fight Night Vegas versus 40, UFC Fight Night 40, Vegas 40, Lad versus Dumont. So firstly, I guess we'll jump into the Bellator and just dabble into the just the main card because it's going to be pretty decent, huh, Mr. B?
Yeah. Looks to be a really good card.
What's up, Ryan Richardson? I appreciate you being here, brother. I hope you're healing well from that accident that you had. I know that you're not feeling
Yeah.
too well. But the first fight of the night that we have on Bellator on the main card is Henry Corrales is taking on Vladi Parubchenko. That's a vicious name. Henry Corrales is 18-6. He's 35 years old. He's 5'8" with a 70-inch reach. This dude's an OG, man. He's been there with the best of them and been around for the sport for a long time. He last took on Johnny Campbell, lost rear naked choke round 2. I don't like seeing a rear naked choke round 2 loss. I'll tell you that. I do not like tappers. So then he took on Brandon Gertz. He won a split decision. And then Juan Archuleta, who's an absolute stud, beat him unanimous decision, as well as Darion Caldwell. With this fight here, I think it's going to be this Vladislav Perchenko. This dude's got some sick throws, man. He got it's definitely like some Russian sambo type Greco-Roman wrestling throws. He's from Ukraine. He's 28 years young, 5'7" with a 68.5-inch reach. He's on a 1-fight losing streak though. He last took on John De Jesus, a lost unanimous decision, and then he won by fight by guillotine choke. But the dude was 6-6. This dude's good when he's not fighting the hammer. In this spot here, it's tough for me, man. I like the submission skills and the work of Vladislav, but it's hard for me to go against the OG Henry Corrales. So I'm gonna go with Henry Corrales and have to just favor the experience here. What do you say, Mr. B?
Very interesting fight here. Yeah. I Parabchenko before coming into Bellator was pretty good. I didn't like his fight against De Jesus. De Jesus managed to pretty much outstrike him. Even though Parabchenko did get a takedown, if I remember correctly, he got lit up bad on the feet. Henry Corrales, he carries big power, and yeah, he can light people up on the feet as well. But he's also been fighting a lot smarter, using more of the takedown defense, and using an occasional takedown. I would probably lean more towards Corrales in this fight here. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's just hard with I like the younger kid, the 28-year-old Vladislav, but I don't like his experience factor. He's pretty much fought bums when he's won, so I'm just not I just can't trust him. So I'd have to go Henry Corrales here.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I
Yeah.
had to cough. Man, dude,
No problem.
this flu season or not flu season, but like just like cold season coming, man, it's vicious. I've got a
Yeah.
little coming down with something. But the next up on the card is going to be an absolute treat. Benson Henderson takes on Brett Primus. Benson Henderson is 28-10. Call himself Smooth as his nickname. 37 years old though, 5'9" with a 71-inch reach. He's on a 2-fight losing streak. Fights out of Glendale, Arizona, at MMA Lab. He last took on Jason Jackson, and he lost a unanimous decision. Then he took on Michael Chandler, lost the left cross to ground and pound in round one. You can't really hate on him there. Mike Chandler's an absolute beast, and just to me, he was just outclassed there. Jason Jackson's another well-rounded fighter. I believe he was on the Black Zillions.
Yeah.
The dude's tough. So Benson Henderson has not had an easy route since he's left the UFC. He's just getting older, and Father Time is just not being friendly. Brett Primus is an absolute specimen monster. I don't know if it's steroids. I don't know if it's natural. I don't really care. He's 10-2. He's 36 years old himself, though, so they're both about around the same age, so it's going to be a fun matchup. 5'10" with a 73-inch reach. This dude fights at ATT Portland, fighting out of Eugene, Oregon. He's on a one-fight losing streak himself. He last took on Islam Mamadov and lost a split decision, and then he lost those are grappling matches. He's very competitive in grappling, which I like. He beat Jake Shields in overtime, lost to Craig Jones by rear naked choke. Craig Jones is an absolute beast in jiu-jitsu, so you can't really hate on that, but that's irrelevant in MMA. The last one that he had in MMA was Chris Bungard, 15-5. He won by neck crank in round one. I like Brent Primus here. I think that his top pressure and his ground game and his wrestling is just going to be a little too much for Benson Henderson. And then Benson just seems to be gassing to me lately in his career, and I just can't trust him. What do you say, Mr. B?
This is an interesting matchup. Yeah, Henderson's coming off the two fight losing streak. He always tends to bring it though, man. But yeah, as you said, Father Time is catching up to him. He's had a lot of fights in his career, man. And Brett Primus, his last fight, yeah, split decision. Crazy thing was that he could have won that fight. He fought most of that fight off his back, and that was a split decision. So imagine that. The jiu-jitsu game between these two is going to be crazy if it hits the ground. As far as the stand-up goes, Primus is a little tricky guy, man. He's a bit of a little trickster here and there. He has a nice little leg kick that he tends to throw. He kind of caught Michael Chandler lacking. That's how he won the title. It's gonna be interesting, man. If unless Benson Henderson is changing something up, man, I think Primus could take this one.
I think it's weird, man. I want to pick
It,
Benson Henderson, but I just
yeah,
dude, this dude Brent is just going to be able to pressure him and push him against the cage and get him down a lot.
yeah,
If that's
yeah.
what he does, if he shows up with that game plan. I don't want Brent Primus striking with Benson Henderson and trying to think that he's some striker. He's a wrestler and a grappler, and I'd rather have him do that.
Yeah.
So hopefully Brent Primus does that. And so with that said, I want to shout out the 62 of you here live that are here with us, breaking down this weekend's Bellator, which should be pretty exciting, actually. Usually I don't get too excited about Bellator, but I'm actually super stoked about this card, so that's why we're even breaking it down. The next fight of the night is Ryan Bader is the co-main event versus Corey Anderson, baby. This is some UFC caliber stuff. Ryan Bader, Darth Vader Bader, 28-6. He's 38 years old, though. He's 6'2" with a 73-inch reach. He's on a one-fight winning streak. He last took on Lyoto Machida, won a unanimous decision, and then he took on Vadim Nenkov, who's an absolute beast. He lost the head kick punches round two. I don't even know what to say about that. Ryan Bader's Ryan Bader, amazing wrestler. He's got a big overhand right. There's He's really not the most volume striker that there is, but he does have big power in the right hand. His game plan is to take you down. Overtime Anderson is 15-5. He's 32 years old. He's 6'3" with a 79-inch reach. He's on a 2-fight win streak. He's fighting out of Rockton, Illinois. He last took on a dude, the Yagashima. I don't know if I said that right, but I did my best. He won a ground and pound round 3. Then he took on Melvin Manhoof and he won elbows round 2. Melvin Manhoof is way too old to be fighting still. I don't even count that. Then he thought before that was Jan Blokovic. He lost a right hook round 1. Man, this is a really interesting matchup here. So we have the 6'3" and the 79-inch reach. And then what is Bader? 6'3", 79. Yeah, man. The reach is huge for Corey Showtime Anderson. I feel like Corey Anderson's younger. I feel like he's got a little bit higher ceiling. I think a lot of people are doubting him. I'm gonna go with him on this one. I don't know what the odds on this one are. They don't have it, at least right here. So I like Corey Anderson to upset here. Most people probably be on Bader, but Bader's not good when he's not when an equal wrestler comes towards him. I don't trust them. So who do you have, Mr. B?
Uh, this is a tough one. I've been thinking about. First of all, this fight has one or two ways of going, either extremely competitive or extremely boring. Because they're two wrestlers,
Probably boring.
and they both tend to have that style where you know what I mean. It could be a full on grapple fest, clinch fest. You know what I mean. Striking wise, Corey Anderson's managed to tune up his striking quite a bit over the years. Ryan Bader, he's a fast guy. He has that nasty. I talk about this from time to time. That straight hook. It's a weird thing where he throws it. It looks like a jab, but he kind of, I mean, like a straight punch or somewhat of a jab, but like a jab hook.
Yeah.
He just throws it, tips off, and he catches a lot of people with it sleeping. You know what I mean? Then they're out. He caught Fedor with it. The the last time when he fought Nemkov, that was real interesting because he got completely blown out the water. Like
Yeah,
Nemkov just ran right through him. He couldn't keep up with the speed or anything because he just did the heavyweight tournament. Like he forgot he was a light heavyweight. With Corey Anderson's been caught before, in the UFC. Bader kind of has as well. I'm seeing, if Bader's bringing all the tools, he takes this. But if Corey Anderson's fighting a smart fight, I can lean more towards him, more towards a lot of that cage control, up against the cage and the clinches, more so trying to dirty box a little bit here and there, and going for the takedowns occasionally, which will kind of throw Ryan Bader off his game, man. Ryan Bader's catching up there in age a little bit, and as well as somewhat. Let me see this real quick before I start talking crap.
Yeah.
Hold on.
One knockout.
Okay. Yeah, in fight time. Exactly. That's what I was wanting to say, fight time. Because Corey Anderson has less fights than Bader. So, yeah, man. The fight years do damage. So, I can lean more towards Corey Anderson, but it's going to be at the slightest, yeah.
It's going to be, like I said, I wouldn't bet this fight at all. I think it's going to be a fun fight to watch over there. Thank you, Mel B, for the Super Hard Award. Thank you so much, Ryan Richardson, as well, for the One Award. Thank you. Can't thank you guys enough for supporting the show and making it what it is. Really, really appreciate you. So with that said, it's just a tough one, man. Ryan Bader shows up where he doesn't leave his chin out there and scare me, but they both kind of have chin issues. So this is going to be funny, man. This could be like literally who clocks who with the big overhand right, and everyone looked stupid. So either way, the next fight of the night is Vadim Nemkov versus Julius Anglinkas. Vadim Nemkov is 14-2. He is 29 years young, 6 foot with a 76-inch reach. He's on an 8-fight win streak fighting out of Russia. He's combat sambo base, absolute just monster, man. I absolutely love this kid. I think I knew he was the future before he beat up Ryan Bader and Phil Davis. And so I think this, to me, man, it looks like it's too easy. Like Julius Anglinkas is 10-1. He's 30 years old. He's 6'3" with a 77-inch reach. He's not a 9-fight win streak, but he's fighting out of Missouri. This dude, the most experienced person he's ever fought was 11-0, and he won a unanimous decision in Bellator named Jordan Young. Dude, but that is not Nemkov. Nemkov will kill you. This dude's lost the arm triangle back in 2016. It's a long time ago, but still, he's shown the fact that he could be smothered on the ground. I have Nemkov here by absolute domination, devastation. But I mean, dude, the odds indicate that, so nothing new. But who do you have here in the main event for Bellator?
Oh boy. Yeah, Gleekus got this feeling, man, this feeling spot. Really wanted to see Rumble take this challenge, but things happen, man. And Gleekus, Nemkov. I don't like Anglicus' style of fighting. Before he got into Bellator, it was okay. It was just like a sure belief. But now, like straight up decision wins and a lot of corner cage control, man. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. A dude like Nemkov is not gonna let any of that happen. Nemkov is too smart, too skilled, and has been trained slash is the protege of one Fedor Emelianenko.
Yep.
So come on, man, like that. That's like a steep mountain to try to, you know what I mean, climb above, you know. Nemkov is real quick. He's a real strategist, you know, in the cage.
Mm-hmm.
He has those same abilities that Anglicus has, but he just has that extra. He has extra stuff, you know what I mean? Tons and tons of experience, tons of rounds fought, you know what I mean? Well, yeah, training rounds fought, a lot of stuff. Um, he's coming in with an assorted level of tools, man. And I think his cardio will help him carry through this fight if it gets to a decision. I don't think so. I think his movement, his shifts and feints, and how he tends to catch his opponents off guard, man, will just be too much for Anglikas.
Yeah, I agree. You couldn't have said it better. And a good point. I totally forgot about Fedor Emelianenko, which obviously everybody loves. So Vanenkov to me is a parlay piece. I rarely say that. I would put him in a parlay piece with a few other people, possibly in UFC down the line. For later that we'll talk about. But so that's the main event for Bellator 260. 269, huh?
Right.
No, it's 268. So yeah, Bellator 268, and then now we'll
Yeah,
jump into the
268.
reason why we are here, and that is UFC. I focus mainly on UFC. I love just betting UFC. That is where I fire. That's where we make money. That's where they pay for my kids' Christmas, and they have been for years. So with that said, UFC Fight Night, UFC Vegas 40, Ladd versus Dumont. Aspen Ladd, after not making weight a week back, is now getting a main event spot here versus Dumont, but up a weight class where she probably should be fighting at the 145 pounds when she couldn't make 135 pounds. With that said, where the first fight of the night is Ariane Carnelossi versus Estela Nunez. Ariane is 13-2. She is 28 years old. She's 5'2" with a 61.5-inch reach. She's on a one-fight win streak, and she last won. And she took on Natalie Yang and won a ground and pound from guard in round two. It was absolute sick. I believe it was one of the first fights back in Florida with fans, and it was just an
Yep.
amazing fight to watch and to see. Then she lost to Angela Hill from Doctor Stoppage with a cut. Angela Hill was kind of piecing her up. I believe she elbowed her and split her up and ended up winning the fight for Angela Hill. Um, Ariana Carlosi, she is like Jessica Andrade, almost to a T. It is like her cousin. It's like her dyke sister. It is like her dyke girlfriend. They are perfect for each other. And no offense, LGBTQ, I love all you. I'm just saying she looks exactly like that little pit bull who's gonna come out and bark at you for looking at their woman. And now, so this girl Carnelossi is to take on Stella Nunez. Stella Nunez is 7-1. She's small though, man. 29 years old, 5'4", no reach listed. She's super, super thin, frail. She, if you look at her fight versus Angela Lee over there in one championship, which is super exciting, Angela Lee beat her by Anaconda choke in round two. Pretty exciting affair. Nunez, she tried to defend as much as she could. She was exciting standing up, but her takedown defense was absolute garbage. I cannot trust her for the likes of anything to not be taken down. And after seeing her being manhandled by Angela Lee in a small weight class, Ariane Carnelossi should eat her up, spit her out, and just make quick work of her. That's just in my opinion. I think that Ariane wins quite easily. What do you say, Mr. V?
Um, yeah. Uh, I think so. I think so. I think Carnelosi will be able to take some of those shots that Nunes brings. Nunes is she's a fast girl, and she's mainly strong in her striking. I see a lot of yeah, the majority of her fights I've seen. Well, in one, some of the other fights elsewhere, she's done all right for herself. The regional, regionally out in Brazil there, but the majority of her strikes have just been mainly her wins have been her just in the stand-up department.
Hmm.
Not many people have managed to be able to challenge her as far as getting on the ground, groundwork or whatnot. I think Carnelosi is going to be able to give her problems throughout this fight, whether it goes to one, stays in one, or it goes to all 3 rounds. Carnelosi, as you said, is a tank. She's going to move forward. She's going to throw. She'll hit. She'll throw those hits back. She'll get that takedown as she gets close. Use her power to get you down and look to wail on you on the ground, man. So, Estelle, you have a tough hill to climb. Um, I take Carnelosi on this one there.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to favor Nunez, and I believe she's coming off a 2 year. Did she have a 2 year suspension? Wasn't that correct?
Yes,
Mr. B?
2-year PED suspension. Yes.
So if she was taking PEDs and she was small, and she's not taking PEDs and she's fighting Ariani, you're gonna get beat up, girl. You got here. You're fed. You're a little goldfish being fed to a little shark. But the next fight of the night is Brandon Davis versus Dana Bakriel. Brandon Davis is 14-8. Called himself Killer B. 31 years old. He's 5'10 with a 72-inch reach. He's on a 4-fight win streak. Dude has really good jiu-jitsu, all around good game. He last took on Josh Huber in Gulf Coast MMA. Dude was 24-11. He beat him round one. I expect you to beat a dude who's 24-29. Okay, that's. I mean, this isn't. It's not good. So before he was beating up bums, he was in the UFC and he fought Giga Chikadze. He lost a split decision. He actually did pretty decent in round one. He ended up taking Giga Chikadze down. Had a little bit of control on top, but then Giga kind of flipped it on him and flipped the script. Ended up winning the round. What it was to me, but dude, it's like he doesn't pick a game plan. Like he doesn't specifically go like, "Oh, I'm 100% going to a takedown. I'm going there for a submission." He's like willing to stand up. He's willing to get hit. And so Brandon Davis now he's taking on Dana Bakriel. He calls himself the Storm. He's 9-2. He's 32 years old. He's on a 2-fight win streak. He's 5'7" with a 70-inch reach. The only thing Brandon Davis is going to have here, 100%, is size. He's going to be a much bigger man than Dana is. But this dude Dana's mean, bro. Got a sick counter left hook. He's finished 2 fights in the last his last two fights have been the same hook pretty much. Kevin Navidad got smoked round one, and Guida Canetti got smoked round one. And then before that, he lost to Haley Atang, who's 12-7 in a unanimous decision. Man, it's like I wanna pick Brandon Davis because I feel like his jujitsu could end up getting us through. He's a BJJ purple belt or green belt? Yeah, my bad. So I like Brandon Davis in the sense of I like his jujitsu edge here versus Dana. I don't like his striking edge. I like Dana's striking a lot. The way that he throws kicks and the way that he throws punches with devastation and the way that with the power. Um, yeah, it's hard for me to pick Brandon Davis here. I have Dana Bakriel. I think that Mike Davis plays into his hand. What do you say, Mr. B?
Damn, I don't really have anything to fill in, man. You pretty much nailed it right on the head. Everything I was gonna say, you just said. You exactly said it word for word perfectly.
It's tough.
Yeah, that dude, Davis is good on the ground. He is chinny though. He leaves his chin out there, man,
Yep.
to get hit. Even though there's been fights he's had that he could have won, but he sits there and instead of doing what he's supposed to do, he goes into these wild exchanges, gets clipped a whole lot of times. You know what I mean? Gets lit up on the feet for some strange reason, and the defense is lacking. But if he could get the fight to the ground and maintain that the positioning and whatnot, he could get it. But Dinas is no joke. He's no joke. He's too fast on the feet for a guy like Brandon. A guy like Davis. So
Yeah.
I am extremely worried for Brandon Davis here. I will take Dinas as well. But don't be surprised if Brandon. Yeah, go ahead.
The thing that plays right into what you're saying is Davis absorbs 4.33 strikes per minute as opposed to the 2.65 of Bagriel. And then Bagriel lands 5.78 per minute versus the 4.65. I mean, are you willing to trade left hooks with someone? Left hooks the fucking sleepy, bro. A right
Yeah,
hook's bad enough. A right hand's bad enough. A jab can be bad enough when you're a punk ass. But a left hook will sleep you, bro, and especially when you're coming forward.
yeah.
And the takedown landed per minute, it's only 0.71 for Davis. So yeah, he lands it, but he's not doing
There's
much
a
with it
lot of
too.
attempts. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
lot of attempts.
So as much as I want to back Davis, and I do like that he's a little bigger, and I like the American, I don't see him doing faring well standing versus this absolute monster they call the Storm, Dana Bagriel. So with that said, I have
Yeah.
Dana here, slight edge. So then the next fight we have is Luvit Klein taking on Nate Landwehr. This is going to be an absolute treat to fight. Luvit Klein is Mr. Highlight. He's 17-3. He's 26 years young, 5'7" with a 72-inch reach. He's on a one-fight losing streak, though. Fighting out of Slovakia. He's a sick boxing based on a ridiculous, ridiculous high kick, man, that everyone talks about. He last took on Mike Trezano. That was his loss. He lost a unanimous decision. In that fight there, he was kind of a little bit of a deer in headlights. He didn't. I don't think he liked the takedown um, capabilities of Mike Trezano and all around ground game. So he just
Yeah.
never fully let off his arsenal, and so he lost that fight. But before that, he took on Shane Young, who was a savage. He ended up smoking him round one, and then another dude round one as well. Nate Landwehr has been fighting. He's called Nate the Train Landwehr. He's 14-4, 33 years young or old, 5'9" with a 70.5-inch reach. He's on a one fight losing streak. He fights out of Tennessee. This dude, he's been fighting for a long time, fighting M1 with some crazy, crazy Russians. This dude, he's here to bang. He last took on Julian Erosa and lost by flying knee round one on a bet that I had Nate Landwehr to win, and I lost my ass because he got smoked. Makes me sick. And then Darren Elkins, he won a unanimous decision. And then Herbert Burns, he lost a knee from clinch round one. This dude's been basically knocked out twice from knees. Ludwig Klein is a bad motherfucker, dude. This dude's striking is on another level. But the but Trezano has kind of exposed a little bit of a game where maybe Nate Landwehr, the veteran, could possibly do something. But I don't see it, man. I like Ludwig Klein here. I almost like him enough to bet if the odds were better. They're not anywhere favorable right now. I believe they're negative 325 on Bovada as we speak. So, but yeah, I like this kid a lot, dude. Ludwig Klein, I like his striking. What do you like say about him, Mr. B?
Um, I like this fight. I want to pick Ludovic Klein. This is gonna be a little iffy though, because if Ludovic can't get it out, can't get it done in the first round, then guaranteed Nate Landwehr will get grapple heavy. He's gonna look to be takedown heavy. They're
Agreed.
gonna tell him to go for takedowns, get crazy with your takedown attempts, and then Landwehr's gonna go and try to punch his way in there and shoot and keep shooting to go get those takedowns. Trezano did somewhat the same thing in their fight against Klein, and that's how Klein got exposed because Klein did well in that first round, but I think if I remember correctly, Trezano totally adjusted and got those takedowns in,
Hmm.
and just kept keeping pressure on Klein. Um, I want to take Klein here. I really, really do. Um, Landwehr's a little bit crazy when it comes to the feet. He's not really technically sound. He kind of goes in for the barrage rampage type of thing. When he starts mixing things up, though, that's when he's pretty good.
Yeah, so
I want to say,
it's
I want
crazy, right?
to tweet, but lean more towards I want to take Klein though. I want to take Klein in this one.
Yeah, I'm taking
Yeah,
Klein. I like his striking too much, but Nate Landwehr is no joke, man. He's
yeah,
been in there with a lot of OGs. So, yeah. With that said, appreciate the 85 you here live and the few awards and donations you guys have given us. Um,
yeah.
the next fight of the night is Lupita Godinez is taking on Luana Carolina. Lupita Godinez is coming in on short notice. She's breaking the Cosma record for fastest fill-in. She's 6-1,
Yep.
and she's 28 years young, 5'2" with a 61-inch reach. She's on a one-fight win streak. She's fighting out of British Columbia, Canada. She last took on Sylvia Angelina Gomez Juarez last week in an armbar in round one. It was sick, man. She then took on Jessica Penne, lost a split decision, but I thought she won, so I don't even count that. Then Vanessa Delamopoulos, she won a majority decision. Dude, Lupita's she's a little Mexican tank herself, man. She throws hands. She's gonna come forward. And this weekend showed off some jujitsu skills. So now you don't even know what you're gonna get if you're one of these chicks. But Luana Carolina calls up Dread. She's 7-2. She's 28 years old. She's 5'6" with a 69-inch reach. She's on a one-fight win streak. She's fighting out of Sao Paulo, Brazil. She last took on Pauliana Botello and won a split decision. Then she took on Erlani Lipski and lost by knee bar round one. Losing to Lipski is probably not a good look for sure. Um, and then she won Priscilla Cachoeira unanimous decision. I I like Lupita Godinez here. I think she just dominates like she did last week. I don't. Lorena Carolina is skinny. She's not very. Doesn't have a really great base to stop a takedown. So I feel like the pressure of Lupita ended up winning her this fight. But I could care less about this matchup. I would not bet this fight. Women's MMA is very, very rarely bet by me. What do you say about this fight, Mister B?
This is real quick turnaround for Lupi. Luana got the crazy reach advantage in this one. But if you're gonna go, damn, yeah, this one's gonna is a little iffy here. It's a little iffy. Sajara, Sajara was supposed to be here. She's not. They put in the perfect replacement for her because it's pretty much like the same fight almost. Um, I see this fight going with Lupita either winning by unanimous decision or somewhere finish, probably like the second round, depending. Both women could get a third round, a third round, a decision in this fight. But Lupi is strong, man. Lupi's gonna go in there, most likely look for heavy shots and just keep the head to the chest throughout this whole fight, so she can find a way to close it. Just coming in with the strong wrestling, as I said, head to chest, so you don't just pure wrestling. Pretty much is what I'm saying here. She feels fresh, I guess, super fresh. So she's gonna have her opportunity here to see, break record and do whatnot, man. Nuana did have that good win though, her last fight against Poliana Botello, I think it was it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
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 Was it Botello? Yeah, it was Botello. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because on the offense, Godinez is 2.65 landed per minute, and then Carolina's 4.8, almost doubling her up
Yeah.
on landed per minute on offense. And then on the other
Yeah.
side, absorbed Carolina she absorbs 3.27 to opposed to Godinez's 1.77.
Yeah,
So
because Godinez, yeah.
the volume is going to be with Carolina, but who holds the power and who hits who is going
Yeah.
to be it's
And
really going to matter. So
is
I
gonna
have
come down to closing that distance.
Yeah, so I have Godinez here, no bet. But yeah, the next fight up is Danny Hot Chocolate Roberts versus Ramazan Amiv. Danny Hot Chocolate is 17-5. He's 34 years old, 6'1" with a 74-inch reach. He's on a one-fight winning streak, fighting out of Bristol, England. Last took on Zelim Amerov and won punches round two. Actually looked really good in that fight, but then he lost to Michel Pereira, flying knee and punches round one, and then Claudio Silva armbar. This dude has been knocked out 3 times, armbarred. It's so hard for me to pick. He's at Sanford MMA. I'll give him that. That's the
Yeah.
best thing Hot Chocolate's doing. But Ramazan Aziz is 20-4, 34 years old, 5'10" with a 68.5-inch reach, 2-fight win streak, fighting out of Dagestan, Russia. Last took on David Zawada and won a split decision in a pretty exciting fight. Then he took on Nicholas
Yeah.
Stolta, won unanimous decision. Then he lost to Anthony Rocco Martin when Rocco Martin decided to turn it up. I like Amiv here. I think that he's too much for Hot Chocolate, and too much ground game, too much pressure, too much all around. Who do you have here, Mr. B?
Boy, I would take Amiv as well, but I'm still undecided on this one because Robert is training with Stanford, man,
I know.
and those Stanford dudes are now building up. You know, everybody who starts training with Stanford is building up this wrestling game somewhat. This offensive and defensive sound wrestling game, depending on who you are, because not everybody's picking it up. But Roberts
I
is good on the feet. He's slick on the feet. Um, and Meave is good on the feet as well, and good at changing levels. Hmm.
Yeah, it's what's crazy is that you know, Meeves Roberts, man, I would throw a flick on a decision victory for him, possibly. That's probably the only way that I can see him pulling this off.
Yeah,
But I like
yeah,
Emeve. I think that Emeve is the one that's gonna win. I do see why someone would bet Roberts by decision. I'm almost willing to do it myself and flicking something on there, depending what the number is.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. It's that kind of fight. Yeah,
so who do you edge?
I'd edge a Meave though.
You edge Ameve too? Okay, cool.
I'd
All right.
edge a Meave.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So like I said, we both edge Ameve. I just feel like he's shown me a little bit more. But don't count Danny to Hot Chocolate Roberts out. It's this is not
right.
an easy bout where you just could just say he's gonna win. The next fight of the night is a fight that I am all about. Andrew Sanchez takes on Bruno Silva. Andrew Alderte Sanchez is 12-6, 33 years old, 6'1" with a 76-inch reach. He's on a one fight losing streak. Fights out of TriStar Gym. I believe he's not there with this camp. Fights out of Missouri. Last fought Makhmed Murdov and lost round three, flying knee and punches. Then he beat Wellington Turman right across the ground and pound in round one. And then he lost to Martin Vittori, unanimous decision. This dude has lost two times to punches. It's Muradov and Ryan Jans, who's 9-3 back in 2017. He's Andrew Sanchez likes to wrestle. That's what I see out of him. I don't see him as a great striker, and so I this fight here is going to be an absolute nightmare matchup for him, in my opinion. Bruno Blindaro Silva is 20-6, 32 years old, 6 foot with a 74-inch reach. He's on a 5 fight win streak, and he's fighting out of Parana, Brazil. Last took out Wellington Thurman and ground and pound round one and took his soul. Then he took on Artem Frolov in M1 challenge, punches in round four. Then he took on Alexander Shomenko, who's a beast M1 fighter. He beat him round one. This dude's hands is no joke, and if he gets you down on the ground, it is nothing to play with. He has a sick jiu-jitsu game too as well. Um, and so I like Bruno Silva a lot here. I feel like he is going to be the side. I'm going to bet him. The right now the odds makers have Silva at a negative 155. So I'm going to be throwing down $155 on Bruno Silva, 1.55 units to just El Derde, Andrew Sanchez. What do you think about that, Mr. B?
Um, yeah, I like this fight. I'm taking Silva. I thought about it beforehand, like yeah, probably like since Sunday when I was looking at this card. Um, I'm taking Silva on this one. Sanchez has been pretty, improving technically wise. Um, training with TriStar, you know what I mean. I don't like how he looks sometimes in certain exchanges. His gas tank, and when he gets taken to the ground, I don't like it. I don't like how he looks. He has those openings and those opportunities, and Bruno Silva will capitalize on all those. Um, Sanchez can take damage, though. I will say that. Um, but I think that Bruno Silva would look to fight. He fights pretty smart, so I'm looking for him to do that. Keep if something happens, he gets a takedown, stay in top position and land something big off the ground and pound. If not, just throw those hands. Throw those hands. Keep it the way he is. He's surprisingly technical for a guy like himself.
Yeah,
Um,
what's crazy is that the percentage of accuracy that Silva hits at 73% of the fires he lands, and so like this dude's good, man. The absorb rate for Sanchez is fucking crazy, 5.05, bro, versus the
exactly.
0.21 of Silva. This is the reason why I have to bet Silva. I see like Andrew Sanchez is going to put himself in trouble and end up getting smoked. So I like the bet here.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you
That's it,
agree,
pretty
my
much.
dude. But the next
Yeah.
fight of the night is the first fight of the main card. It is Juliana Marquez versus Jordan Wright. I'll let you get into it first, Mr. B.
Lord, oh Lord. Julian Marquez, Jordan Wright. Marquez, if I remember correctly, represents Syndicate MMA.
Yep.
Jordan Wright's out of Jackson Wink.
Yep.
I have high promise and high praise for this guy, Jordan Wright. Then he fought this dude, Buckley, and Buckley made him look bad, made him look real bad. But then he came back and he won his last fight, if I remember correctly. Um, he's very technical. He has that kickboxing. He likes to roughhouse a little bit when he needs to. He can turn into that next gear. But he's fighting a practically brick shit house with Julian Marquez, yo. Marquez is dangerous, bro. He's something different. He's hard to put away, man. He's just there in it till the end. He's had those terrific comeback wins, via was it Darcy chokes or whatnot. He's landed heavy shots on people. He can absorb some stuff, man. Absorb some shots, yo. Um, it is gonna be a fun fight to watch. Even though Jordan is young in his UFC tenure, um, he can't surprise. You know what I mean? But Marquez has just been in it with some of the most dangerous sluggers in the UFC, and I think I'm taking Marquez on this one, man.
Good. Yeah, I pretty much agree too. I feel like Jordan Wright, he's a fun striker when he gets off, but I just don't see him as a real tough dude. He doesn't remind me of a guy that would go in an alley and actually throw down. Hello, Lynn from Calgary. I appreciate you being here, my lady. One of my favorite female MMA fans. And I also appreciate the 95 of you here live and the 3 donations that you guys have given us. Thank you for being here, me and Mr. B. Julian Marquez, the Cuban Missile Crisis, is just a lot of fun, man. This dude is 6'2", 70 with a 72-inch reach. Jordan Wright is 6'2" with a 77-inch reach. That's what
Yeah,
worries.
that's crazy.
That's what
Yeah.
worries me for Julian Marquez because a kick could hit him. If the hands are 5 feet longer, imagine what the legs could possibly be. Thank you so much for the high award, Lynn. Can't thank you enough. Um, so this fight is going to be an absolute fun and an absolute banger. This is a violence fight. I feel like this is a fight that is going under 1.5. Hopefully they put it at under 2.5, but I know it's going to be 1.5, and hopefully there's a decent line. I feel like Julian Marquez is just tougher all in general, and is going to grind out a decision win, or not a decision win, grind out a Jordan Wright against the cage and end up landing a big bomb, the Cuban Missile, hopefully he calls it. But dude, 5 inches reach is a lot for the Beverly Hills Ninja, dude. And this dude, I don't know if I'm just underrating his game because he's too much like a Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, and I don't like how Thompson isn't very mean. But I have Julian Marquez here to win this fight. I feel like he's meaner. He's at the negative 200 favorite, so you got to put $200 to make 100. That's a little hairy for me. I wouldn't. I personally would not bet that. What's up, Justin Williams? 808, but congratulations on your baby being born, my dude. So with that said, I got Julian Marquez over Jordan Wright out of mere toughness. But don't be surprised if Jordan Wright ends up spin kicking Julian Marquez into the stars. But I feel like the UFC likes Marquez, and he's a star, man. You saw what he did calling out Miley Cyrus and then fumbling the ball. So he's fun. So next up is Manon Ferrat. She's taking on Myra Silva. Manon Ferrat is 7-1. She calls herself the Beast. 31 years old. She's 5'7" with a 66-inch reach. She's on a 9-fight win streak. She fights out of France. She last took on Tabitha Ricci and just smoked Tabitha Ricci into the stars. Punches standing TKO round 2. Then Victoria Leonardo was given the same fate. Head kick punches standing TKO round 2. And then another girl got smoked in round 1. This girl, man, throws punches and bunches, and she means it when she throws bombs. But Myra Boina Silva throws some big bombs herself. She's 30 years old. She's 5'6" with a 66.5-inch reach. She's on a 1-fight win streak. She last took on She was a draw last time she went to. It was Montana De La Rosa majority decision, but Maria Borella, she's the one she beat her round one. Maria Borella was 11-8. I don't even, that's it is what that is. Then Marina Moroz, she lost unanimous decision. If you lost to Burroughs, unanimous decision, who is a sweet girl and she tries her best, but Manafaro should eat this girl up and be throwing nothing but punches, just in bunches, right down the middle and eat her up with volume. But Myra Buena Silva does have some sick or some big heavy hands when she wants to throw down and actually lay down those hands. I just don't think she has enough volume, in my opinion. Let's see, landed per minute. Manon is they don't even have the number because it's so high. It looks like 7 or 8, and then Boyna was 4.06, and then Fiat absorbed is only 1.98 versus the 4.89 of Silva. That is so much. There's so many more punches landed by Manon and absorbed by Bill Boyna Silva that I just can't. I can't bet on her. She's gonna have to do a sub or die. She could do that, but I can't trust her for that. She has armbarred a girl and ninja choked a girl, so I'll give her that. But she has to land a Hail Mary sub on the ground, in my opinion, to beat Manon. What do you say, Mr. B?
Um, yeah, this is technique versus power, man. Yeah, they both have power, but I say technique versus force. Manon Fiorat, man, has looked really good. A very technical kickboxer, highly technical kickboxer. She's just clean as hell, man. Um, but Bueno Silva representing that shooter box. Uh, just like real raw, serious power. Um, willing to brawl. I'm leaning more towards Fiorat just for the simple concept of output and movement, footwork wise, dodging strikes, landing strikes. Uh, Fiorat's gonna land like 2 or 3 shots for every
Is that our first Haps glitch? I was gonna say we were doing so good. 54 minutes, not one glitch. We lost Mr. B. Sorry, guys. Bear with us 1 second. He will be back here in a jiffy. But yeah, with this said, I think Mana Farad, I think she eats up Buena Silva. Can you hear Lynn? Can you hear him? No, right? I think that Mana Farad is just an absolute monster when it comes to volume. But dude, if she puts herself in a bad position on the ground, she is going to be smoked, man. So yeah, with that said, that is the Mana Farad versus Myra Buena Silva. Hey Justin, can did we lose Mr. B for you? And I'm good still, yeah? Okay, you can't hear him. Cool. I'm just going to move on until he jumps back in. So, with that said, the next fight of the night is Jim Miller. He's taking on Eric Gonzalez. Jim Miller is 30. Jim Miller is the OG veteran. Dude, can't say enough good things about him. He's 32-16 with Mr. B's back. There you go. He's 38 years old. He's 5'8" with a 71-inch reach. He's on a 2-fight losing streak. But when you're fighting this Joe Selecki, last fight, and Vince Pichel from Hell over here from the 805, you're gonna lose some unanimous decisions, and he did just that. And then he took on Roosevelt Roberts. He won armbar round one as a big underdog, where everyone was counting him out. That's what I think like he could do. What he could do here. I feel like Jim Miller is an easy win. I feel like they're setting Jim Miller here up to absolute sub win. I can hear you now, Mr. B. You're back in effect.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all good. I just moved on. We're all good. So Eric, now we're jumping into Jim Miller taking on Eric Gonzalez, bro. I can't believe that this Eric Gonzalez guy is going to fight the legend that is Jim Miller. Eric Gonzalez calls himself the Ghost Pepper. He's 14-5, 29 years young, so young, 5'11" with a 74-inch reach. He's on a 2-fight win streak. He last took on Samuel Alvarez and he won unanimous decision. That guy was 5-3, guys. He ain't beating Jim Miller. Okay. You know what? It's like I gotta do it. I gotta bet on Jim Miller right now. I'm throwing it down. 2 units on Jim Miller. I'm throwing it down for him to beat this bum. There's no way that he survives this. There's no way Eric Gonzalez can handle this OG veteranship. I feel like he's gonna smoke him fast. It's 2.2 units. So 2.2 units on Jim Miller to just handle this kid, man. There's no way. The experience factor is way too far. I have a rule. I got to bet at the OG versus the kid. Um, this is a kid versus the OG, and the OG can sub him so easily that it's not even funny, man. So I have to do it out of pure love for Jim Miller. I got to do it because he has a chance to sub this kid easily. Eric Gonzalez has lost 5 times. He's lost one of the times by rear naked choke, which is perfect. So, dude, I had arm bar by Eduardo Silva. He's tapped twice. He can tap for Jim Miller, so believe that, man. So I'm going with Jim Miller here. I didn't even think I was gonna do it, but I just gotta back him, man. What do you say, Mr. B?
Yeah. uh, damn. A lot of people, you know what I mean, are in between, indecisive on this one. I got a friend who's going with Eric Gonzalez.
Uh-oh.
Eric Gonzalez, you know what I mean? He's a pretty feisty guy, man. Willing to take those shots, willing to go in there and do what he got to do. Um, he does a lot of his work on the ground, though. There's a lot of a lot of his jujitsu work and a lot of positioning stuff. But this is Jim Miller that we're talking about, man. Jim Miller is like the guy. Like,
Yeah.
not only is he an OG, but come on, it's Jim Miller. The man's jujitsu is pretty damn solid. It's proven time and time again. I think he's just gonna go about doing what he has to do
Yeah, I
to
just
take
can't
this one.
see. Jim Miller knows he's better. He knows he's more skilled. He's coming out there and he's gonna fucking come out round one and sub this kid, man. Like, there's no way that that's not his game plan. He's going in there for the quick kill.
Yeah,
He's not trying to come in for a 3 round affair. I feel like one bad position. That's all it takes for Eric Gonzalez to give himself up. So,
exactly.
like I said,
And his striking is improving as well. Jim Miller, we're talking about. Yeah,
yeah. So, I just can't. I cannot not. That's the problem. So, bet with caution on that. With that said, this is a little bit of a heart bet. I don't want to. This isn't one of my normal. I'm a very much a sniper when I throw down bets, but I just feel like Jim Miller ain't losing this fight, and so we'll see next week, baby. And with that said, we've been on a roll, so we might as well try to fire at it. But I just feel like Jim Miller is just better, man. So with that said, the
yeah.
co-main event is Andre Arlovsky versus Carlos Felipe. Who do you got, Mr. B?
the,
I
the
tried my
OG in me wants to say Andre Arlovsky.
easy, right?
Yeah,
You would
I,
want
I,
to.
said- I want to say Andre Arlovsky,
I know.
but I don't know, man. Like, yo, I was thinking, I'm like, yo, Carlos Felipe throws a lot of shots. For a big guy, he has a high output, man. Like, yo, he throws some shots, like some bombs or like just quick shots in general. Um, I hate I hate he lacks takedown defense though. He lacks it.
Mhm.
He lacks it. And while I could think that probably he'll do that, nah, I think Arlovsky has just a little bit too much tools, man. I believe Arlovsky should get this one here.
Ah, man, he could get a submission too, bro. Like,
Right.
he's got skills, dude. I just Oh man, Felipe's so young and he could take a lot of damage. That's the thing.
Yeah.
He could take it. He absorbs 5.62 of a round compared to the 2.95 Arlovsky. And at this heavyweight, number where these guys hit so hard, that's a
Yeah.
lot to be, risking. So I just can't do it. I have to pick Andre Arlovsky here versus Carlos Felipe. Andre the Pitbull. He's been in here with everybody
Yeah.
and their mother. I know this will not be the popular pick. Most people will be on Philippe, but dude, go look at Philippe. I don't want to body shame. Ben Parrish taught me a lesson. Just go look at Carlos Philippe and tell me that is a specimen of a pro fighter, man. And get back to me. I have Andre Arlovsky here. I think
Yeah.
he's too good, man. But man, it's Andre Arlovsky. His nose is sideways before he starts the fight, so do not bet this.
That's
fight.
the whole thing, and he's chinny, man.
Chinny,
He's
chinny.
chinny as hell, man.
He's chitty Cocoa Puff. That fool. Oh, dude.
That's the thing. That's the thing that has me worried. Like Arlovsky has so much skill and talent, ability, man. And
Yeah.
he's the OG, but geez, man, like I
Hey, dude,
don't know.
To show you how crazy the odds makers have him as the underdog at the slight -110 versus -120 for Philippe. If you asked me ever in my life if this would be happening, where I would be like, oh, Carlos Philippe is favored versus the OG legend, Andre Arlovsky, I'd say you're crazy. You're a bum. There's no way. OG or pass. I have to go OG or pass. There's no way. So that is what it is, man. The next fight is the main event of the night, and I think it's going to be a pretty fun one. If Aspen Ladd makes weight, she's so sketchy and so mentally weak that I can't say what Aspen Ladd's going to do. But Norma Dumont is a BJJ brown belt. She's sick, dude. She also has some really good striking and good kicks. 31 years old, 5'7", with a 67-inch reach. She's on a 2-fight win streak. She last took on Felicia Spencer and just battered her all around. Won a split decision. And then Ashley Evans Smith won a unanimous decision. The only fault for her is she got smoked by Megan Anderson. Gross. That bothers me. But Megan's pretty big and long, and I guess that could happen. She's taking an Aspen Ladd, purple belt BJJ. Everyone talks about how her, Aspen Ladd this, Aspen Ladd that. What about Aspen Ladd? She's a BJJ purple belt. Cool. Her striking's not awesome. She got smoked by Durandamy in one punch. She never makes weight, so she's mentally weak all the time. She makes more excuses than anyone I could see. So I don't like. I know that Mr. B is a fan of Ladd. I am not. I do not see what all the hype is about. I feel like the brown belt of Dumont is superior than the purple belt of Ladd. I feel like the only chance that maybe Aspen Ladd has is that if she somehow got top position, in a bad position, maybe Dumont could get punched out and be hurt. But if you look at the way that Aspen Ladd moves, she's really flat-footed. She's really sloppy and barbaric. It reminds me of looking at some old MMA fighters back in the 1990, like 99 UFC. She doesn't have kicks. She's not really diverse in her arsenal. I don't know why everyone is so high on Ladd. I'm throwing down the money on Norma Dumont. I'm throwing down on the dog at the plus 110 number. I'm throwing down one unit because I don't believe in you, Aspen Ladd. You prove it to me. Next week, you win. I'll shut up for that minute. That's it. But the point is that I like Norma Dumont here. I think her BJJ skills are equal or better, and I feel like her striking is 100% better. So I got Norma Dumont in this main event to silence Aspen Ladd if Aspen Ladd even shows up. Who do you have, Mr. B?
Oh, man. Then we touched on this a little bit. I am a fan of Aspen Ladd. I am a fan.
Sorry.
But I would have to lean towards Norma Dumont on this one.
Hey, for the record, guys, remember last week he was a fan of Mazo.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Bet the house on Dumont. Bet the house on Dumont.
I'm taking Norma Dumont on this one. There's a couple factors.
Holy shit, he's picking Dumont. He doesn't even want to, folks. You definitely bet the house.
It's the simple fact that while I like Aspen Ladd, I don't like this matchup for Aspen Ladd. She was prepared to fight somebody like Holly Holm, where you would have to go and try to engage into those takedown attempts and a lot of that stuff, and the unexpected kicks and things like that. Norma Dumont has some crazy boxing, bro. Her hand, Norma Dumont that debuted against Megan Anderson and the Norma Dumont right now are crazy. Two totally different people.
Preach it.
Yo.
Preach that.
Norma came in as a bloated 145er. I'm telling you that. She put on max weight. I think she was fighting at 125 regionally or so. So when she came in, she was just really big. When she came after that fight, Megan caught her. She tried to do a lot of that cage stuff. She got caught. She got caught by Megan. Megan's reach and whatnot. After that, did y'all see how she transformed? What she transformed into? That girl got lean as hell. That girl got ripped.
Seriously.
She lit up Ashley Evans Smith. Then she went in there and she bodied Felicia Spencer. Split decision win. But she took Felicia Spencer down. People don't take down Felicia Spencer. The only person who took down Felicia Spencer was who? Amanda Nunes. and I think probably Pam Sorensen. I think. Come on, dude. Like, yo, Felicia Spencer's everything of 145, dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So absolutely, Justin. You know what I mean? So she totally turned her whole game around. I think people are not paying attention to that. Unless Aspen Ladd gets these takedowns, this thing is going to be rough for her.
Mhm.
Norma Dumont is going to look to light that girl up on the feet, defend the takedowns when necessary, as she did against Felicia Spencer, look to get reversals on the ground if necessary, and dominate, make a big impression in this fight here, man.
Yeah, you said that great, man. And like I said, Ladd absorbs 4.84 punches.
I don't like
per
it.
minute.
I don't like
Dumont
it.
absorbs 2.86, so about half of what a Ladd takes in. And Ladd does land at a slightly higher clip at the 5.22, but that's 4.98 for Dumont on the flip side. So I much rather have Dumont's not being punched in the face at twice the rate, and then have the defense of Dumont at 67% defense versus the 46 of Ladd for significant strikes. So with that said, man, like I said, I'm just like I said, Justin Williams said, I'm just speaking facts, man. Everyone's all high on Aspen Ladd, all giving her praises and Snickers and giving her a main event spot, while Norma Dumont's over here just doing normal God's work and women's work, man. And so hopefully Norma Dumont comes in here and proves us right and proves everybody else wrong, and does the damn thing. So I really can't thank all you guys here being with us for what was UFC Vegas 40, the main event, Norma Dumont versus Aspen Ladd. Really, really, really just can't thank you guys enough for making the show what it is. One second.
Right.
Sorry, Mr. B. But yeah, so with that said, let me run through my bets. So we got a little crazier than I thought I would, but the first bet of the night is going to be on Bruna Silva at the money line at negative 155 on Bovada. So 1.55 units on Bruno Silva to devastate Andrew Sanchez. The next fight, I have Jim Miller, the OG legend. I have him to sub Eric Gonzalez. I'll be hitting that sub prop, and I'm going to hit that money line for sure. The 2.2 units on the money line for Jim Miller, and be lookout for my Twitter and a tweet for me to hit the sub prop for Jim Miller as well, because I just feel it, man. And then last but not least, the main event, I have Norma Dumont to silence Aspen Ladd and to show her that she ain't shit. So with that said, we can't thank you guys enough for being here. Thank you, Mr. B, for being here as well, and let everyone know where they can find you on Twitter.
Oh man, you can find me Mr. B at Mr. B 1986 on Twitter. Here on Haps is Mr. B, the MMA guy. I'm here. I do this stuff here from Monday to Wednesday. Me and TJ get on and we discuss wrestling and MMA. I come here with you here. We discuss MMA.
And if you don't, and if they don't know, so, Mr. B, if you guys ever want to catch a stream or you're out and about and you need to see the fights that are going on, you could always add Haps TV and add Mr. B or look on his Twitter, and somehow usually he's got something for you. So make sure you stay tuned to my boy.
Yeah,
because he's got your
definitely.
back. So with that said, Mr. B, I can't thank you enough for being here with me this week, and hopefully we just keep this winning streak going. And with that said, till next week, let's roll.
Are you ready? Break it down! Degenerate into something fool. We just got tired of doing what you told us to do. That's a break, boy. Yeah, that's a break, little man. Break it down! Think you can tell me what to do? Know who you're talking to?